Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Manor Farm, where as you can see I've got a course generated for cultivating. There's the first point. What I did was I set up with 2 headlands after the fact, and it looks like it's not going to miss too much of the field actually. So I got it set to start as the first point. Let's send that off. It should behave reasonably well, hopefully. So that's the 60-40 busy. What I'm going to do with the T4 is completely undecided as of yet. Believe it or not. This is being recorded directly after Wednesday's video, by the way, so if you did say something on Wednesday, I haven't taken it into account yet. It'll be taken into account on Monday. What I'm gonna do with this thing, I'm gonna try baling. So I'll let the baler over here. I'm gonna hope this works, because these bales, if it does work, I'm gonna find a spot for them in a farm, in one of these sheds, possibly this one over here. And gonna stack them up nicely and neatly with the bale forks. And that's gonna be something I'll do probably off camera over the coming days, over a few days. So don't expect them to be suddenly, you know, all the baling done and perfectly stacked. That's not gonna happen. So it looks like the 60-40's getting on actually surprisingly well. I did just use the auto detect for the width and the field edge path because I forgot to set that. I think it's working free as well. There's no, I'm not paying for CoursePlay, which honestly that's kind of fine, to be honest. I don't mind cheating a bit with CoursePlay on this save. So he's going to continue on. I'm going to get baling, hopefully. It's, you know, I'm kind of surprised this actually works. I don't think you'd ever see a T4 in real life pulling this. And I'm pretty sure you all know that straight after this video, well, straight after I recorded this video and maybe another one, because I don't have the Cold Bur Long video recorded yet, I'm probably going to go straight onto YouTube and see if I can find a video of a T4 pulling a roll built 150. Because I think in reality the baler's a bit bigger than the tractor. I know it's only a 4-foot baler, but I think the size is actually a bit small in the game. 4-foot balers, I know in 2013 they looked really small, but that's because the main baler was a 6-foot baler. They're actually quite large machines because they gotta crush, you know, they gotta compact everything up into a nice neat, essentially a nice neat little ball. And straw and hay aren't exactly the easiest things to crush and keep neat. They have a tendency of just exploding and imploding and everything. Plus there's a whole lot of sensors and stuff inside and around baler nowadays. The old ones, like the Metallfach one that I have, yes, they were small, but even the likes of the Mikhail F550 are quite large now. I know this from seeing one in reality. Plus the, I don't know if you're aware that the Mikhail Fusion is basically a and Sam N was going to do this originally in 2013, just essentially the F550 with a bale wrapper slapped on the back. He did have permission from NI Modding to even think of doing that, but that's essentially all a Mikhail Fusion is a 550 with a wrapper strapped on. That bale's gonna go run about, so I'm gonna stop it. go. Sometimes there is an advantage to just keeping the bale spikes on the front of the tractor. The downside, of course, is I'm now starting on a bit of a hill, so we're going to be crawling for a bit. I'm actually kind of tempted to swap out the roll belt for the class Roland 250. I did think of what it was called, because I am, if you don't know, I am really, really terrible at names of things and people. So if ever I make a shout out to you in a video and get your name wrong, that's not me being offensive. Well, that's not me being intentionally offensive, it's me being accidentally offensive because I have a terrible memory. So let's get this bale out. I'm going to check up on the T6 or the 6040 in a moment, because quite honestly I don't trust CoursePlay right now. I know it's not just a, you know, plug and play thing, it does need some care, but at times I think it needs a bit too much. Is that bale going to actually stop, or is it just going to roll forever? It's just going to roll forever, isn't it? Yep. That's something Giants really needs to sort out, is the round bale rolling. I think they need to have maybe a few less sides on the hitbox. Because right now I think it's an octagon or a hexagon, and it just doesn't seem to work. It needs to have more flat edges and bigger flat edges for it to not roll as much. And to be honest, I'd almost be content with it having a square hitbox, because as things stand, it's actually really unrealistic the way round bales work at the moment. Because I've never seen, living in Ireland, in a rather hilly part of Ireland as well, I've never seen round bales rolling down a hill and through hedges. I know that the hedges thing is down to collisions, but I've never seen round bales just toddling off down a hill. And I've seen plenty of round bales on hills. Now, I don't know if it's down to the way that they bale or what, but the likes of this shouldn't be an issue for a round baler. The bale would just come out and be like, fnet, because the thing is, the weight of the bale, and I know this much, the weight of the round bale itself holds itself down to the ground, so it wouldn't have a tendency to want to roll unless it's pushed. CoursePlay is really making short work of that field, good lord. I'm kind of impressed by how CoursePlay is doing. I gotta admit, I didn't think CoursePlay would do well with that field. But I've been proved wrong. Mind you, it hasn't gone onto the headlands yet, so that's where it's all gonna go to pop. It also hasn't gone on to any bits where it can hit into a fence or a tree yet, I suppose. So that's probably going to cause an issue as well. Or at least I'd imagine it will. Part of me kind of wants to use a square baler on this map, but I think it's a bit too small for a square baler. And I know that the square baler has the same bale size as the bale size in litres as the round baler. I had to try and figure out what I was trying to say there. I know they're identical in terms of how many litres of straw or hay or grass goes into them, but the round bales actually just physically take up less space, which I think isn't very realistic, to be honest. I could be wrong. But there's probably a reason farmers prefer using square bales in general. Then again, That reason probably something to do with ease of handling as opposed to quantity of material stored. Or density of material stored. It's probably got a lot to do with ease of handling, in fact. Either way, I think we're doing quite well on the baling, especially when we go downhill. I'm tempted to check the price of something. I think I will. That's 48.9. That's what 135. And what would I get? How much is the T4? 64 for 75. Yeah, I'm tempted to swap out the T4 for Deutz and just keep the New Holland front loader. I know it'll look wrong on the front of a Deutz, but it's an option that is open to me and one that I'm going to consider. I'm not going to just immediately go, oh, I'm going to get a Deutz now. It's something that I'll consider, and you guys can weigh in as well, because I probably won't record until that. I probably won't record any more of this map until after this goes live because of the weekend. That's actually why I've put mod and map spotlights on the weekends, is so that I can get feedback on a Friday, and come Monday when the next episode goes live, I can actually take that feedback on board, because I can record on Saturdays again, which is kind of a big deal in its own way. But I can record on Saturdays again, and that means that the map and mod spotlights can be done sometime midweek, probably Thursday. I'm planning on doing them this week. And by recording on Saturday means obviously this video is live when I'm recording Monday's video, which means if you guys have any comments, leave them now and I will at least try to act on them on Monday, if you know I can afford it in game and if I remember. But no, if there are any suggestions I will write them down somewhere and write down your names and give you credit for what you suggested. Because I know... crap, I've forgotten your name. I can check. Open up my emails, please. Social. It was... Oni MTX 175. You said that Balmoral would make a good map for Let's Play, and I think I'm going to agree with you there, apart from the PDA map issue. Yes, it would. You also asked a question that I didn't spot. Huh. Also, you pointed out that Sammy is actually pronounced Sammy, not Same. Thank you. Because I've heard David Oldfield calling it Sammy, and I thought that looks a bit... that sounds a bit odd for something that's spelled same. I'm not saying Sammy is the wrong pronunciation. It probably is the correct one. It just looks wrong. I've now got my emails open, send me timer. That's not a good thing. Timer, please. There we go. Yeah, Oni MTX. I will think about Balmoral as an LP map. I probably will want it next. And thank you for pointing out how Sammy is pronounced. Or Same, for those of you who think it's pronounced Same. And to be honest, I'm one of them. I'm one of the people who think it should be pronounced Same. Because that's how it's spelled. If you work in Sammy and you're like the CEO and in charge of the name, add an extra E to the end. Then people will call it Sammy. I'm kidding, but it does I mean, I think even people who know it's pronounced Sammy don't mind people calling it same because that's how it's spelled. And there we go, CoursePlay is having issues because it's found a fence. Let's see what it's found. A tree. Oh! Good lord. I didn't touch that. CoursePlay is learning. It's also making really nice work of this field. There's something about a field that is partially cultivated that just looks nice. Especially when I'm not doing it. I think you guys will agree, as long as I'm not doing the work, things look a bit nicer. But I kind of like doing it myself. I don't know why, I just like doing things manually. It may not make for the greatest videos in the world, and I appreciate that. And I really appreciate you guys for still watching, because these aren't great videos, and I know that. I'm doing my best, I really am, but there's only so much I can do to make me doing the same thing repeatedly even vaguely interesting. And there are times when I think, no, that's just not gonna work. I haven't actually dumped a video yet, though, intentionally. Well, I have, but that was through no fault of my own. There have been a few occasions where sound recordings have failed, or OBS has decided to corrupt the file. On my old PC, I haven't had an issue so far on my new. Well, I have. I've had rendering issues on my new PC, but they've just been because I've got a newer version of Sony Vegas, and I'm not used to it, and I figured that out in about 10 minutes as to how to fix that problem. So I don't particularly mind. As long as I can fix it, I'm perfectly okay with there being a problem. It's the problems I can't fix that I've got an issue with. I'm gonna leave CoursePlay figure this out itself, because assuming it hasn't managed to jam the front weight somewhere, which it hasn't, it'll fix things itself now, which is just so rewarding to see. Is CoursePlay actually sorting its own problems instead of making me come over and shout at it for a while. So this bailing's actually going a bit better than I anticipated, to be honest. Pick up down, yes. Because I wasn't expecting to get... I was expecting to do well in the bailing, but I wasn't expecting to get pretty much half the field bailed in a single episode. Now what I'm going to do after... once I got this line picked up here, I'm going to pick up this edge over here, because it turns out the triangle thing I was going to do was stupid. And it's just caused me extra work and heartache and pain and suffering. So, yeah. The fields do look good. Something that on maps that are semi-realistic is just so nice to see is because this is what I see around my area, is round bales in the field, just kind of haphazardly lying there. It's kind of nice to see in game, and adds a sense of life to the game in its own way. I know, like, I'm laying them down, but it just makes me feel good to see round bales everywhere. They're hellish, they're not fun to deal with, but they look nice. That's why I keep using them. So we're almost at 20 minutes, and that means it's time for me to go for the weekend. I hope you have a good weekend. Really sincerely do. I hope that if you got any plans, let me know. I'd love to hear what you're doing for the weekend. I know I'm being a bit weird now, but I'm just being... I mentioned on Monday that I had some issues last week, the end of last week, that I basically took a weekend off YouTube. Like making YouTube videos and working on the channel. By and large, I did publish some videos and get that sorted out. By and large, I just kind of gave up on gaming for a weekend and sat and watched YouTube videos and lazed. And the reason I'm suddenly so interested in what you guys are doing and what you guys want to do and your hopes and your dreams and stuff is because sometimes sometimes you have every good intention in the world and all the hopes and dreams in the world, and they just don't work out. And that's what happened last week. I'm not going to go into details on what happened, but basically something that I was really enjoying and really into just ended very suddenly, and it wasn't the game that I'm working on. That's still going. It was something personal, and I just, it really got to me, and I needed to take a break from YouTube and from doing pretty much anything productive. And today, which is Monday, I'm now getting back into the swing of things, and I'm feeling better about myself in general. I know I recorded a video yesterday at some point, but I actually recorded 2 yesterday. But today really is me getting back into the swing of things properly and finishing out the week's videos on Monday, which makes me feel kind of good in its own way. So yeah, let me know what you got planned for the weekend. I'd love to know. And maybe on Monday let me know what you actually did, if your plans worked out or if they didn't, or if they worked out better than you'd expected. Because it's always nice when things work out better than you'd expect. I'm probably a bit weird in this. I keep low expectations on pretty much everything, because the way I see it, if you've got no expectations, things can only work out better than you expect. If you expect nothing and get something, you're always going to be happy. But if you expect everything and get nothing, you're always going to be sad. Like with YouTube I was expecting maybe 10, 15, 20 subs by now. And to be honest, I was expecting to have quit by now, by this point. But 9 months later, and the year is the channel is over a year old. I don't know if I got a Facebook message. The channel is over a year old. I checked, and it was a year old on the 16th of June, which means I'll have a special video coming at some point in the next week or so, when I can figure out time to make it, because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do, but I think I'm gonna show off a different game, and so you won't be seeing a bonus farm sim video or something. You'll be seeing a different game entirely. But I think it's time for me to go for the weekend and get looking for mods and maps once again. So, until next time, when we'll be cleaning up this bale disaster and getting CoursePlay to do this field while we work on the other one. I've been Rainbow Dave. You've been watching Farming Simulator 15 on Manor Farm. Please leave a comment below with your plans for the weekend, or any hopes or dreams that you currently have. I'm really interested in knowing. If they're personal things, you don't need to say. That goes without saying. But until next time, stay safe and goodbye. Man, CoursePlay is making a short work of that field.